Bantabasha, the young people, the youth, so we call you. Sanbonani, Dumelani, Apsheni, Molweni, Enda, Gupina Gupilani Kona, Size Ektineni Gamanje, where Nyanga Yetu Bantabasha. We started the year on a high. I called it 20 plenty at some stage, and I ended up calling it plenty 20. But it turned up to be something else that we less expected. We were hit by a number of things, including COVID-19 that is currently wreaking havoc. And we have to continue staying safe. But what we want to do to wrap up the youth month, the June month, the month of Abantabasha, we often speak about the youth of June 16. Now we're talking about the youth of these days that are facing a number of other challenges, more than political challenges that were faced by the young people back in the day. We've had very interesting programs over the month of June. We spoke about entrepreneurship. We spoke about the entertainment industry, what you need to understand how the entertainment industry works. We spoke about the music industry, what goes into that recording, the contracts and the works. And then we touched on acting. And lastly, we also spoke about agriculture, which we're encouraging Amandabasha to consider pursuing a career in that space. Then there was also a brief discussion on the ocean economy, what is happening out there in the sea. Now, top on the list of the things that we're speaking about, we need to unpack certain things, and some of which are the lessons that we think we wish that you will learn during the COVID-19 lockdown ekhaya. There's so much opportunity for you to learn new things. There's no way you can sit back and say the COVID-19 came and it left without you learning anything. So we don't want you to be heroes. Please don't be heroes and think you'll go out there and fight the virus. The virus sees no color, it sees no race, it sees no status, it sees no class. Ishaya zwab zwab. Wena gogo, wena mkulu, wena sisi, wena puti, wena mfana, wena ntombazane. So as schools are reopening, some of you gradually going back to school, we urge you to be very, very vigilant. Don't be heroes. Ningazenzi steering. Okay? And we also spoke about gender-based violence against women and children. You are the future. You are the ones that have to work hard to stop or curb the issue around gender-based violence. Now, to wrap up the month today, we are joined by a dynamic young man, a very interesting young man, who is an author of Work Through the Barriers to Success, Inwati, which you must strive to get a copy thereof. He's also a keynote speaker in business. He owns his own business, yes, own business. We talk about hustlers. You must not be a hustler, you must be a businessman. The business is called Ayeye Consulting Pty Limited. He's a public speaker and a trainer, of course. You will see him in action today. And he's a one young world ambassador. Our guest today, Bantabasha, is the youngest speaker to speak at the Prime Media Division Forum, addressing various divisional heads of the Prime Media Group Limited. He was awarded Competent Communicator Certificate and Advanced Communicator Bronze Certificate by Toastmasters International, a very, very interesting organization to belong to. As you grow, look out for Toastmasters in your area. One of the speakers at the Sunday Times Top 100 Companies, Leadership Lessons from the Best in Business. He's also completed a strategic business presentation course by Business Communication Skills Holdings Pty Limited, a 2018 motivational speaker for accounting technician, South Africa National Tour. I am not going to introduce you and tell you who he is. I am going to allow him to tell who he is because he does it in such a brilliant way. Baba, welcome and greetings.
Wow, Mr. Sibeko, ngiyabonga kakhulu baba. Ngiyabonga kakhulu. You know, after such an introduction, I cannot wait to hear what I'm going to say. So I'm looking forward to my own kind of presentation. Ngiyabonga kakhulu. Thank you for this opportunity to you, to future leaders. You're doing absolutely amazing work. You know, so many young people are seeds. I see them as seeds, and inside a seed is a tree. And the late Dr. Miles Monroe would say that tragedy strikes when a tree dies inside of a seed. Now, in order for that seed to become a tree, it needs to be watered, it needs to be nurtured, it needs to be cultivated, it needs to be well looked after, And I think that's what your organization is doing, Future Leaders, to the young people all over the country, all over the world. So big ups to you, big ups to your organization on turning these young people from seeds to trees. Once again, I truly appreciate the opportunity, Leon Nigayona. You know, my mentor, Dr. John Tibane, he calls this the privilege of the platform. To have an opportunity to speak to people is a privilege we should never take for granted. And that's why we should be very careful of what we say. As Dr. Marty Grother says, that words are powerful. They have the ability to make people's hearts soar, which is S-O-A-R. Now that is to rise. But they also have the ability to make people's hearts soar, which is S-O-R-E, which is pain. And so we as leaders, Abu Mama, Abu Koko, Abu Mkulu, teachers, people who have the opportunity to speak to people, we should never take that opportunity for granted. We should use our words to build people and not to break people. We should use our words to create and not to complain and constantly criticize. And so we have that responsibility. Let's make sure that we look after that responsibility. So thank you once again. Igama Sibusiso, which means to be a blessing. And every time I wake up, you know, I pray that God helps me to live up to my name. Gibe Sibusiso, to be a blessing in whatever way that I can be, wherever I go, you know. You're never too young to teach, you're never too old to learn. It's the small little things that make a big difference. So that's my name. I am a CEO, not a chief executive officer, but a catalyst empowering others. I'm blessed to be a blessing. I'm created to create. I'm designed to deliver. I'm engineered to excel. I'm programmed to prosper, and I'm powered to perform. I'm manufactured to move, and I'm wired to win. I'm sentenced to succeed. Like FNB, I'm always asking, how can I help you? Like NetBank, I make things happen. Like Standard Bank, I'll keep moving you forward. So that's my mini brief introduction. I'll just give a bit of a background and how I've gotten to do what I do. I think it's important for young people because at times we hear all these achievements and they go, "Ay, but lona nga too special, you know? From which home, from which background?" Indwana selokishini. Born and bred to Orlando West. I stayed with my mom, I stayed with my dad at the time, I stayed with my sister, and then I moved back home, Orlando West. So I was at Orlando West, I hit Dobsonville, and then I moved back because my late mom and my dad separated. So I went, I know what it is, you know. Ukuthi ulwe nekhazini yakho ukuthi ubani uzolala kuphi. Ngalesikhathi leso nilala phansi, but niyalwa. Mina ngifuna ikhona. You know, and young people, I'm like saying to young people, listen, man, don't be apologetic about your success. If you're moving, you keep moving, man, because many of us know what the struggle is. You know that song, started from the bottom, man. Now we're here. We shouldn't be apologetic about your success. I mean, there's no one in your family that's got a degree. You are the first one, and you're quiet about it, and you're shy about it. What? I'm not saying be arrogant and go around showing people your certificate, but when you're given that opportunity, I'm the first. Yes. I'm the first to do it. It's because it's going to inspire other young people that are following you to say, I can do it. And don't, you know, one of the reasons, Mr. Sibeko, why I think young people don't share, there's this stigma that maybe arrogant, people are always speaking, man. People are always speaking. As long as you do it with a good intention to inspire people, not to come out as though you are the man, but you're sharing this so that you can give hope to another young person. You're not sharing this so that you can get praise and all of these things. That's not the right way to go about it. So, young person, don't be apologetic about your success, girl. Don't be apologetic about your success, boy. You've worked hard. You know what it is to struggle. You know what it is to grind. So make sure that you tell them what you've done and what you're about. So I got my first bursary when I was 9 years old. Believe it or not. I'm not 9. When I share the story, people are like, "Oh, when 9 years old?" Yes, I was 9 years old when I got my first bursary. I went to a school called Vuleka in North Riding. And so Vuleka had a partnership with a school called St. Peter's Prep in Rivonia. And what would happen is St. Peter's Prep would select 2 of the best learners from Vuleka and give them bursaries. And by the grace of God, I was one of the 2. But I was one of the 2. As I take time to reflect, Mr. Sibeko, on my journey and how I got that opportunity, I look at the role, the critical role that my mom played in my life, my late mom. Education was not a topic for discussion. Like, it's not a debate. What I love and learned from my late mom is first thing first, which is education. So every time I got back home, the first thing I ever did was work. It was homework. It was nothing else. And I had to make sure that I do what I need to do and I finish off my schoolwork. So it's important that as young people, there are other things that we love, but let's get it right. First thing first. So I went to St. Peter's Prep. By the grace of God, I was given a 4-year bursary. I moved from Eloksheni, Orlando West, and I went into boarding school at the age of 10 into a suburban private school, right? So I moved into an environment where I was seeing what I was dreaming. Let me repeat that. I moved into an environment where I was seeing what I was dreaming. In Dwana Salokshane, I would see all of these Ferraris, on TV, on magazines, people living a certain lifestyle. What is happening? And God put me into that environment so that I could see that it's real, that I could see that it's happening, that I could be inspired to work harder and to push and to challenge myself. And so I inspire every single young person that is watching to say, rather not inspire, but to say to you, strive to spend time in environments where what you're dreaming about is exactly what is happening. Strive to spend time in environments where what you're dreaming about is exactly what is happening. So if you've got a dream of one day being a soccer player in the English Premier League, it doesn't make sense for you to spend time at Kone. Go and be on the soccer ground, Value Stadium, feel the vibe, read about soccer, watch soccer, spend time in environments where you're challenged, spend time in environments where you are inspired and you are seeing this thing live. So to cut the long story short, I was given a 4-year bursary. I took that opportunity. I made the most out of it. I really excelled. In my academics, I excelled. Culturally, I excelled. In terms of sports, I excelled. I was just that guy who took every opportunity that was given to me. As a result of that, I got my 2nd bursary. I went to a school called St. Albans College in Pretoria, another top private school, one of the top private schools, I believe, in the country, in South Africa. And once again, I was put into an environment where I was challenged to grow, to get out of my comfort zone. My friends' parents were driving these dream cars. So I was literally seeing these things right in front of my eyes. And I was inspired to keep pushing. Because sometimes I want that drive as a young person. I want that work ethic until you see what you dream. Then it comes from within. If you see someone driving you, like Mr. Sibeko, and then then the conversation starts. One day, because why? They've seen what they dream of.
Yes.
And so it's important, even as parents, as those of us who are blessed, to take young people and put them in those environments where they can see what they are dreaming. Went to St. Albans College. I took the opportunity, grabbed the opportunity to get involved in public speaking and sports. I was a leader. I was a top 6. Got the opportunity to apply for head of school, etc. To cut the long story short, I then finished off, and I finished off matric. I think this is important that I mention this. You're a young person. You are in matric. You don't get those 5 distinctions or those 6 distinctions. And we've seen many young people take their own lives, unfortunately, because of the results that they get in matric. We've seen many young people give up on their dreams because, as in, just the results didn't come out well in your matric. So I finished off, yes, I'm being honest. I finished off matric with 2 distinctions. The first distinction was business management, and the second distinction was LO. Mr. Sibeko, LO.
Yes.
Abantu mangithi LO bayangihleka, but I count a distinction LO. How?
Yeah.
No, it's a distinction. Here's an interesting thing. My maths mark was 47, I think, 47 or 46. So I had failed maths. And I had a dream of studying communications management at the University of Pretoria. But I couldn't go into that course because I had to redo maths. And I say to young people, here's another lesson for you to take away. Delay is not denial. It may take you long, but don't give up on what that dream is. There are many young people who say, I want to be a doctor. I want to become an engineer. They finish off matric. Their results are not results that can get them immediately into medicine. They may have to go the BSc route and then get into medicine. So at times when people see what BSc, then no. Let me try something else. So delay is not denial. I got into business management. It was a 4-year degree. It took me, I think, 6 years or 6.5 years, but I finished. And I think that's what matters. You're a young person, you're watching this, you're in university, it's taking you longer than expected, you haven't done it in record time. I'm saying to you, delay is not denial. Delay is not denial. Whatever you have started, make sure with your boy. Whatever you have started, make sure with your girl. Yes, certain things happen. People have to drop out, there's financial exclusion, etc. But go back. That electrical engineering degree, go back and do it. Go back and finish it off. Whatever you start, make sure that you finish it. And I believe and I know that you can. And so I got into motivational speaking when I was 19. I've been doing this for 9 years now. When I was 18, I've been doing this now for 9 years, and I've written a book and I train people to become public speakers, because a great idea that is poorly presented, it sounds like a poor idea. So what I do is I help you package your message, I help you present your message, and I help you pitch your message, right? So you package your message, you present your message, you pitch your message. That's what I do. I share with you tools and strategies that I've learned over the last 9 years from different platforms. I've spoken to university students, I've spoken to CEOs, I've spoken to managers, I've spoken to entrepreneurs. I take all that knowledge, all that information, all those strategies, and I turn you into a superstar public speaker. So when you get on that stage, you wow them. I want to talk very quickly, Mr. Sibeko, on pressure. I want to talk on perspective, and I want to talk on preparation. So I call them the 3 Ps. That's what I'm going to focus on. The title of my presentation, 3 Ps, it's the pressure, it's the perspective, and it's the preparation. 3 relevant topics looking at what we are going through as a country, looking at what businesses are going through, looking at what teachers are, all of us. If it's not finances, it's you as a mom. If it's not you as a mom, it's you as a businessman. I don't think there is an individual right now or a business that's not under pressure. We all are in different areas. If not, it's academically. And young person, I know, Mr. Sibeko, there are young people who look at other people doing amazing things and they think like, am I the only one that's going through this? Because obviously what we portray out there is what we want people to see. I have spent time with really successful people. And I used to look at them and think, wow, they live such an amazing life, which they do. But the other thought was, do these people have like problems in their life? Like it looks like their life is perfect. But what I realized is this, young person, each and every single person that you see who's doing extremely well, every single one of us, we're all like ducks. Ducks. Above the surface, we look calm, we look cool, we look collected. Look, siphethe. But beneath the surface, we are paddling. We are kicking. Asaz with this cover, just to keep afloat. And that's what it is. I'm saying to a young person who's watching this and they want to give up, look, keep kicking, keep pushing, keep going. You're not the only one in this thing. You're not the only one. So quickly, I said pressure, I said perspective, I said preparation. Let's talk about pressure. Pressure. There's pressure that you've put on yourself. There's pressure from family. There's pressure from ekhaya, edladleni pressure. There's pressure from an organization. There's pressure from the company that you're working for. We are all under pressure. Some way, somehow, we are all under pressure. Are you tired? Are you at the point where you want to give up? Are you at the point where we as boys, you're a student, you're working? Is it worth it? Like all of these sleepless nights, is it worth me going after my dream? Is it worth me going to university? Is it worth me even going to Esquela? People are losing jobs. Like, is it worth me even getting out of bed? Are you at that point? Are you at that point where you are tired physically, emotionally, mentally, physically? Like, energy, you are tired. Physically, you're in June. Mentally, you're in December. Financially, you're in January. Like uzwile ukhathele yazi awusafuni next. I've heard people saying yazi asivalele country 2020 ayiphele, we'll start again. Listen, no ways. I'm not letting 2020 go to an end. It can't end now. There's still so much that we're going to do. There's still so much that we're still going to achieve. There's still so much that God is still going to do in your life. It can't end now. I think the next 6 months are going to be the best 6 months of my life. That is what I truly believe. That is what I truly, truly believe. And so I'm looking forward to the next 6 months. But I understand we're not all at the same level. You're tired. You want to give up. Are you at that point? There's pressure. This pressure is too much. Like it's just too much, man. Like kubhlungu la, kubhlungu amadolo. Like you are just tired because you are under immense pressure and you don't know how to deal with this pressure. Here's my advice to you. Number one, on dealing with pressure, stop and reflect on your past wins. That is one of the secrets of champions who are under pressure. They stop and they reflect on their past wins, their past victories. And what many of them have realized is when they look at their past wins and their past victories, they realize that that struggle back then, that test back then was harder than what they're going through right now. And they go, man, what's the I've done this before, so do it again. And that's what I do. If I'm under pressure, I don't know how I'm going to do it. I stop and I go, let me look at my wins. Because there was a time when I was under pressure and I conquered the pressure. How did I do it? There's power in reflection because you can also take those strategies that worked back then and implement them now. Obviously, you have to look at the type of pressure that you're under. So what I'm saying to you is stop. Don't put yourself under more pressure by being in environments where people are having conversations about how well they're doing and when you feel like your life is not good. And when I mean stop and cut out the distractions. One of them could be social media for you. Cut it out. Like Surada, just it's not going. No, look, girl, like the social media ain't down. Even Naxas is a big corner, and next week is a big corner. I'm currently now on a 100-day challenge. I mean, in this lockdown, I did a 21-day challenge where I went completely off social media. To do what? To dig deep within, to spend time with myself, to cut out the distraction, to look back, and I was able to regain peace. I was able to regain strength. I was able to regain focus. So stop, reflect, look at the past wins and take away those strategies. There's something powerful about that particular exercise. Number two, stop and think about the end in mind. Yeah? What's on the other side of this pain? What's on the other side of these hours that you're putting in? The end in mind is your vision. I mean, for some of you, it's graduating, it's walking on that stage. Bonogogo, mama, nomkhulu, shouting your name. And yazi thina abantu abamnyama, graduation, badoza nabantu abayi-4. Yolandea hardcore. Yeah, but what I'm saying to you is what's on the other side is much better than what you're currently going through. What's on the other side of pain, what's on the other side of obedience is much better than what you're currently going through. You know, there are times when I'm just like, no, it's not worth it. It's relaxing. And what gets me going is that in my room, I've got something called a vision board. So a vision board is a mental picture of your desired future. I've got my dream car, I've got my dream destination, I've got the places that I want to go to, the person that I want to become. And so when I open my eyes and I look at that, I'm like, okay, and so it's important that in your space, you put things that remind you of where you're going. You get me? That vision board is so important. Your dream car, put up the graduation gown, man, in your room to get you going. Put up that dream car to get you going. Put up that dream house to get you going. Yes, you're under pressure, but once the pressure is over, then you are moving. So stop, reflect on the past wins, take strategies, take lessons, and see how you can internalize them, contextualize them with the pressure that you're dealing with now. And number two, stop and think about the end in mind and keep the end in mind. Those are two practical ways to deal with pressure. Right. Number two is perspective. Crisis, right? What is a crisis? So, definition of a crisis, it says a crisis is a time of intense difficulty or danger. That's a crisis. So as a country, Mzansi, we're in a crisis. When you're in a crisis, you go through change. And when you go through change that you've never gone through before, there is confusion and there is chaos. Personally, you may be in a crisis financially, physically, academically, family-wise. You're in a crisis. It's a time of difficulty or danger. When you go through that crisis, there is change. If you're going through change that you've never gone through before, when a chaos, when a confusion, so we are going through a crisis individually, as a country, business-wise. We are all going through a crisis. Now, yes, a crisis creates uncertainty, like right now. It creates chaos. It creates doubt. It creates division. It creates change. That's crisis. But a crisis also creates an opportunity for you to get out of your comfort zone and innovate. A crisis creates an opportunity for you to look deep within and find ideas and come up with solutions. A crisis creates an opportunity for you to, as in Meluspan, Mr. Sibeko, there are many people who are too comfortable in their positions. Manje COVID-19 ifikile. Lento leya ukuthi uzolokufika late emsebenzini uthatha izinto relaxed shubile. That's what a crisis has done. It's gotten you out of your comfort zone. It's made sure that now you respect your job because you know you could be next. You've been very unprofessional at work. Next thing you wake up to a retrenchment letter, which is painful. But we need to look at the positive of a crisis. Besides the fact that people have lost jobs, which is very painful. It's very painful, but it is what it is. And so many of us have bonded with our families. I know people have tried new skills. You know, you were mentioning it earlier. There are many different skills people have learned. To get back to my message, I shared a video that says, I love a crisis, because a crisis forces you to dig deep within. A crisis forces you to be innovative as a young person. A crisis forces you to get out of your comfort zone and to use what's at your disposal to grow you and to grow your brand. That's what a crisis does. And that's what COVID has done. So we need to look at it differently, right? There's a quote that says, by Wayne Dwyer, it says, change the way you look at things and the things you look at change. Change the way that you look at things and the things that you look at change. A quick story. 2 twin boys were raised by an alcoholic father. I'm sure the time alive. No, I actually covered. I come up with their own beer. At the time I see again. So these twin boys are raised by an alcoholic father. One of the boys grows up to become an alcoholic. And he's asked what happened. He says, I grew up and I watched my father. The other boy grows up and never touches alcohol in his life. They ask him what happens. He says, I grew up and I watched my father. Two twin boys, same dad, same situation, different perspective, different results. I'm sure the other one that never drank ever in his life, ubonile ukuthi dieting, ikhawuthi time alarm. But the other one probably saw it as dieting, ijabulisa time alarm ngoba maliphuza lokho lijabulile. So we're seeing the same thing, but we're seeing it differently. It's a change, it's a perspective, it's a mindset. And if you change the mindset and you change the perspective, then you change the result. You have someone who sees a problem and says, you know, at classing, for example, at classing, the teacher has a problem and he says, okay, I'm going to choose two people. The problem is the same problem. Choose two people. I choose Uchabu, I choose Nosbongi. Why choose a man? Why always choose a man? Why mean? I mean, I'm a long time. But Nosbongi says, okay, now it's time for me to show the class who I am. Now it's time for me to come up with solutions. I'm not this pogo that you think that I am. It's the same problem, but it's a different mindset. They're seeing it differently. One is seeing it as you are having a go at me. The other one is seeing it as an opportunity to show the class what they're made of. It's the same thing. And so as young people, we need to create perspectives that serve us, that work for us. Lastly, on perspective, money. I used to be reckless with money. I'd make money and I'd spend money and I wouldn't have money. I was reckless, like really, really reckless. And I'd spend it on consumables instead of creating. I would spend the money instead of saving. I would indulge the money in terms of investing. And when you do that, you're bound to be poor, right? And so I needed to change my perspective. One of the things that has helped me with how I handle money now is that I don't see money as just coins and like paper, right? I see money as a seed, right? Let me say that again. I see money as a seed, a seed. Wherever you sow, you shall reap. And I also see myself as a wise and patient farmer. So I sow where I see this potential for growth. I sow where I see this potential for value. If there's no growth and value, I don't sow because I'm a wise and patient farmer. So it's not more just, I see money as a seed. When I've got money in my hands, I've got seeds and I'm a wise farmer. So to both me and you, but we're seeing it differently. We've got a different perspective, a particular attitude towards the same thing. And therefore, we are what? Behaving differently. And if we behave differently, we get different results. Young person, you're watching this and you're not happy with your results. One of the things you can do is go back to your perspective on how you see what you're currently facing, on how you see what you're currently battling with. That is perspective. So what is your perspective? And is your perspective serving you, propelling you to a new level, or is your perspective bringing you back? Change your perspective. The last one is preparation. Whitney M. Young, Wati, it's better to be prepared and not have an opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. Let me repeat that. It's better to be prepared and not have an opportunity than to have an opportunity and not be prepared. Young person, this is my belief. This is my view. This is my framework. Okay, fine. No, the economy is at its lowest. You know, companies are not really spending a lot of money. People are getting retrenched and. But here's what I believe. The economy will come back to its best.
Yep.
Entrepreneurs are going to create jobs. The economy is going to open up again. People are going to go back to work again, right? But as a young person, you may be sitting there, you're unemployed, here's an opportunity for you to prepare. So when that opportunity comes, you are ready to grab it. You don't start preparing when the opportunity is there. You prepare before the opportunity comes. Yo, I think I want to say something, Mr. Sibeko, about go deeper, man of God.
Yeah.
You don't prepare. You don't prepare for the opportunity when it's there. You prepare before the opportunity comes, so that when it comes, you are ready. I say stay ready so that you don't have to get ready. Stay ready so that you don't have to get ready. So prepare on your unique selling point. What's so special about you? Prepare and clarify what it is that you've got to offer and the value that you're going to add. I encourage young people rather, to prepare an elevator pitch.
Wow.
Imagine that you're in an elevator with this person that you've always wanted to meet. There is something that you love from them, whether it's a manager, it's a CEO, it's a football player, whatever it is, it's your role model. And both of you get inside the elevator. And you've got about 1 minute, 20 seconds, which is quite a lot. What is it that you're going to say that's going to give him or her that, okay, I want to work with you? Or not even that, here's my business card, or let's have a conversation. It's what is called an elevator pitch. You've got that time. So you prepare for such opportunities. Prepare for the question, this daunting question. Tell us about yourself.
Yeah.
I see it time and time again. You'll get it in an interview. You'll get it when you meet people for the first time. First impression. I know people say it's unfair. Yeah, but one charge after 1 minute. But like, after 1 minute, but serious. So it's an opportunity for you to prepare. When they give you the 1 minute, 30 seconds, they can see that this person has prepared. Who are you? What's your X factor? What that you got to contribute? What is it that you've studied? Umuntu studied degree, but
No, bega basibuda. Bega. I think uithatha la ethi don't be apologetic. Ngoba siyashesha ukuthi hayi mina ngiyahlupheka, hey mina ngikhulele lokishini, hey mina ngikhuliswe single parent, and don't look at opportunities that lie ahead.
Yes. That's it. Those are the 3 P's that I have for you tonight. It's the first P that we spoke about was pressure, and the second P that we spoke about was perspective, and the second one is preparation. If you'd like to find out more on how to work through certain barriers in your life, maybe you've got the enemy within, like always I have young people that say, I've got these negative thoughts I can't get out of my mind. Like always, why? How can I change my mind? How can I change my thoughts? Or you've got people that have got a problem with procrastination, or they've given up after they've lost someone in their life. There are certain barriers that they need to work through to get through. And there's a copy of my book. It's titled, here it is.
Work through.
Yeah, work through the barriers to success.
All right.
Yes, work through the barriers to success. I share with you strategies on how to work through certain barriers, like a lack of vision, like the enemy within. Like if you feel like you're just a victim all the time, or you've got an idea and you want to start, it's practical. I don't write about it if I haven't gone through it. I speak on a particular chapter in the book on how to work on your resilience muscle. I lost my mom, Lady Lam, may soul rest in peace, an amazing woman, before I was about to graduate. It was always my dream with the old lady Lingbo, because she had made so many sacrifices, and I lost her. So at the time, I'm 22 or 23. Do I give up? Do I go into drugs? Do I go into alcohol? What do I do? And it's very easy to regress and to go back, or even to just who's blaming? And how do you bounce back? I bounced back. I traveled. I got opportunities. Then I was I went to represent South Africa at the One Young World in Colombia. Then I was in Germany for some time. All of those trips were not paid for me. They were just people who believed in me and saw the work that I was putting in. I had gone through setbacks. I had failed, but I had bounced back. And you too can do it.
I think we finally see Bambelana Baba. I see us bringing you back to share more insights Nabanta Basha. This has been quite inspirational, very much inspirational. I like what you said when you opened up to say you're here to inspire. I live by a very interesting philosophy of life that says I aspire to inspire before I expire. So this
Love
does
it.
work.
I love
It does
love it. Love
actually add value quite a lot. I must get a copy of that book. So you've got a sale already, and I'm going to challenge my friends and colleagues and everyone else to start putting sense together and buy the book, to own the book. This has been quite an inspiration indeed. What comes out for me and stands out is all about don't be apologetic and priorities. Abantu abasha yathanda ukwenza izinto nithi hayi ngizoyenza kusasa, ngizoyenza next year, ngizoyenza nini. Time is tight. Time wasted will never be regained. So abantu abasha will need to learn that. We are in 2020, 2020. There is much plenty left, but whatever it is that we have, seize the moment. In French, they say carpe diem. Seize the moment.
Carpe diem.
Yes, do the best that you can, and to grow and become what you would like to be, and keep pushing.
Yes.
Buddha, to keep pushing. Sbu, in closing, as a young man and as a business person, this has been quite an inspiration. Now, this should come through as a lesson for Bantabasha. You said you're a CEO, yeah? Yeah, unpack that for me.
I said I'm a CEO. Many people know the CEO as a chief executive officer.
Yeah.
CEO, CEO, like this big guy. But I say not a chief executive officer, but a catalyst empowering others.
Great, I love it. So me and you have got something in common, but only in the designation of CEO. I'm a chief executive officer, and I heard you talking about the training that you do. Let me tell you, before Abantabasha, not that I'm claiming this space, but you have a job. Our organization, the company that I work for, we are going to employ you to do some of the training for us. And this, guess where we saw you? We picked you up on the Future Leaders Empowerment Series, saying thank you to the month of June as Abantabasha. I thank you so much, Buti. It's been a great, and I'm definitely sure we are going to catch up again.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sibeko. I really appreciate it. You know, I just think lastly, my last parting words to Abantabasha, young people, even you who's 32. I see, Mr. Sibeko, that people who are like 30. I mean, I'm not young anymore. You're not young. When I'm 30, you're not young. You are old. You know, up until 55. Not 35, I mean 55. Then okay, yeah, then you're not old. Not is old, they are experienced. And my parting shots is that it's a journey. It's a journey. We look at people and we go, wow, I want to be like them. And I always say to young people that I spend minimum daily 3 to 4 hours working on me.
Wow.
Working on me. I'm up at 5 on most days. The first 2 hours are for school. I'm reading, I'm meditating, I'm feeding my mind, I'm listening to good music, I'm listening to music that inspires me, that empowers me, the conversations. I spend a lot of time alone, feeding me, working on me. This is so powerful to young people who are watching to say, work on you, work on you. You know, they say, there's a quote that says, focus on you until the focus is on you.
Wow. Yeah.
Focus on you, the focus on you.
No, you've said it all, Pudam. Thank you so much. On behalf of the Future Leaders, certainly on behalf of our founder and patron, Umama Uzanele Ulambogazi Nkambule, we thank you so much, Puti, for making time, and we look forward to engaging you more. And to all Abantabasha Makaya watching, hope you've taken notes. And we will place this on YouTube as well. You'll be able to go back to the YouTube and pull this information, make notes, and learn and grow. So stay strong, and stay home, and stay safe. Sbu, thank you so much.
Enkosi baba, ngiyabonga kakhulu. God bless you. Thank you.